Hello everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, as you saw by the title, will be ranking all of my drugstore foundations. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are excited. If you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, let's just get started. I don't know why I'm struggling today, but first let's talk about the elephant in the room. My lipstick. I'm kidding. Obviously, I have bangs. So I actually, the one day my friend was like trimming my hair when I dyed it blue actually, and I was kind of like, do you want to give me bangs? And she was like, oh, like I'm not so sure. So then we did an 80s like coffee house kind of thing where we sing, it's kind of self-explanatory, we sing and drink coffee, basically. So the night before, she was kind of like, I think I'm ready to give you bangs now. And I was like, sure. So I kind of wore super cute, super 80s for that, and now they're permanent. There's something though I realized with bangs, you kind of have to just get used to, how they look first. So like today, I'm not certain how I love the way they look right now, but like you gotta get used to it. So I had to just like kind of film, and even if they're not particularly perfect, I just gotta let them go because I have to get used to them before I can fix them, if you will, before I can say like, you know, I hate them, or they only look good this way. You gotta kind of just feel them out. So that's what we're doing today. We're feeling them out. Though, might I add, doing my makeup was really hard because I didn't want to pin them back because I didn't want them to crease backwards because they looked really nice the way they kind of fell. And so I did straighten them. So I didn't want to pin them back. So I kept having to hold it up to like blend foundation and do my eyebrows and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot for me. So again, we'll see. We have to play with them a little bit. I'm going to keep bothering them though, or keep doing that, shaking them out, because I want them to look a little bit more just kind of chill and a little less, styled. So I'm gonna probably keep doing that a lot. So let me know what you guys think. Any tips, tricks, if you guys have curly hair and you guys have bangs, whatever you think. I did wear them curly, like curly scrunched, like natural curly, and they did look really, really nice that way too. So again, I'm kind of just feeling it out. Anyway, all that to say, we're talking about foundations today. So I did do a foundation, the foundation tag recently. It was last year, but it's still, I think, pretty recent. It's relevant. A lot of those foundations I do still have. So I didn't want to do a full foundation tag, but I did want to review the newest foundations come to my collection. But then I felt like, if I'm going to already talk about half my drugstore foundations, why not add a few more and kind of give you guys my feel on all of them and tell you how I feel about all of them. So yeah, I didn't realize how much of my collection is drugstore. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of my foundations are drugstore foundations, which I think is awesome. And then next month I will be getting number 10 because I want it so bad. So, yes, I don't even have them ranked yet. Oh my gosh. All right, so they're ranked, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm nervous to talk to you guys about them. All right, so number 9 in last place. This one kind of sucks, but because I was really excited to try it. But this is the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation. Now the thing with this is that you'll find a lot of my foundations, by the way, are very natural, radiant, hydrating, glowy, anything like that, like something for my dry skin. Obviously the opposite to my dry skin. So this one, sounds like a really beautiful foundation. It sounds like something perfect for me. Naturally radiant foundation, like literally born to glow. That's me. I'm born to glow. I want to glow every day. But the thing with this one is that it is a lot heavier than you imagine. So for me, I think it's like I don't know what it claims to be, but for me, it's kind of too full coverage, and it looks heavy on my skin. And like the foundation just sits on top of my skin. It doesn't like melt into my skin. And so for that reason, it's kind of number 9. I'm just not obsessed, and I feel like maybe over the summer I might like it more, but even still, just doesn't seem like my perfect foundation. This might be one like I have to throw in a project pan and use it up, because it's just not my number 1. And the thing is that I really love the concealer for this, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't know why that is that, because the concealer is very nice and naturally radiant, and it's creamy, and it's hydrating. It's not glowing, but it's hydrating. It looks so nice under the eyes. This one is just really, really heavy, and I'm not a fan. Similarly, the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. Now, this is one of the new ones that I really want to focus on, so you guys can get my opinions on this one. On these. So this one is, again, it's a hydrating foundation, has hyaluronic acid, it's a long wear foundation. The thing, it says True Skin But Better, hydrating foundation with hyaluronic acid and watermelon seed oil, leaves this perfectly even skin tone and naturally matte finish. Medium to high coverage with a comfortable skin feeling. So the thing about this is that a lot of these claims are true. So it is, I think it is a nice hydrating foundation because it doesn't feel dry on my skin, it doesn't dry my skin, but it is a super matte finish. And so for me, I just don't like a matte finish a lot. And the thing is that, again, with my dry skin, it doesn't dry it out, but it does tend to get cakier because my skin is so dry, I guess. I have no idea. But I think this one can look a little bit heavy as well. And so for me, this is definitely going to be one that I know I'm going to like in the summer because I want a more matte, but I still want it to not dry on my face. And so I think this will be a really good one. Whereas the next one just kind of is a mess. It just looks cakey, it looks bad. This one looks beautiful on the face. It just tends to look a little heavier, like around this area, right in the middle of my forehead. Just in certain areas, it starts to look heavier because, I guess because of the matte finish. And I'm not a huge fan of matte finishes, and you'll see not many of them are matte finishes. I think this is the only one that claims to be a matte finish, a full matte finish. And so it definitely is a medium to high coverage. It does feel really comfortable on the face. That is it too. It looks and feels comfortable on the face. And so that's what I like about it, that it is still hydrating, if you will, but it's just a little too, if it was a lighter coverage, I think I would like it a little bit more. But since it's like that medium to high coverage and a matte, it's just not my favorite. But I do like it. I think the bottle's luxe. Everything about this is really, really nice. I think I bought this on the impression that it was going to be a hydrating foundation, not necessarily realizing it was going to be matte as well. And I didn't think about that. And so I probably wouldn't have bought it if I saw that it said matte. But I do like it, and I'm glad that I have it and tried it. All right, next is the Profusion Feel Good Skin. I think this is number 7. I love this foundation, I really do, but I'm wearing it today, but I just feel like this is it's a lot of coverage. It's really high coverage, and because like we're getting into the products that I really, really love are like literally my perfect products, this one has to be like number 7, and not because it's bad, but just because it's the most coverage, and it's one I'm going to reach for the least because of how much coverage it is, girl. Like, my skin looks so good. I look so good today, but it's a lot of coverage, and it's not my number 1 preferred coverage. And yeah, okay, sorry, I was reading it. It says hyaluronic acid, medium to full coverage, natural satin finish, and I agree. I think all those claims are really, really accurate. It doesn't dry out my skin. It feels really, really nice on the face. I think even oily skin people could get some use out of this because it's not super overly hydrating or overly dewy or anything like that. It definitely is that satin finish that if you set it really well with a matte powder, it's going to look a little bit more matte. If you set it with a glowy powder, it's going to look a little bit more glowy. And then if you just set it with a regular powder, it's just going to have that satin feel, kind of like the way I'm wearing it today. Just kind of natural, neutral. Yes. And yeah, like I said, it is though. This is only $7. It's a great price. I don't think I mentioned the price of the other ones because I don't think I know them. But yeah, super amazing foundation. Just a lot of coverage for me. If you like a lot of coverage, but you still want the vibe of like tinted moisturizer, like the things that have a lot of hyaluronic acid and things that are like really usually hydrating and lighter coverage, if you want that in a fuller coverage, so this is a really good one for you. Okay, so actually the NYX one is $10, which isn't that bad, but it's kind of, for me it's a lot because it's not perfect, if you will. And then this is Catrice one is $11, but I do think it's pretty worth it, especially because you get a more kind of luxe packaging, luxe feel. I really do like this the way they did this and the way they presented everything about this foundation was really perfect. So I think the $11 kind of matches that, and the Profusion is $7, which I think is a great price, a great steal for this amazing product. All right, number 6, I believe this is the e.l.f. BB cream. So the thing about this one is first of all, there's not a lot of shades, which kind of sucks, but this is one that is so cheapy that I kind of just don't use it a lot because I don't know, like I would use the Catrice one over the e.l.f. one, even though I like the e.l.f. one a little bit better. Just because it feels a little bit cheapier, and like it was kind of like whatever. I think it's about $3 to $4, so it's a great price. The product is really, really nice. It does have a more medium coverage, so again, I don't wear it a lot because of that medium coverage. I know I love something lighter coverage. I do like medium coverage sometimes, but I like a lighter coverage more. I think that's a little better of an angle. I think I'm going to keep it like that for right now just to see. But anyway, so it is something that like I do enjoy and do really, really like, but I just like something a little bit better, which is why this one's kind of in the middle here, and you'll see like some of the I like some other ones more that are still more higher coverage, but it's just the way that it looks on my skin. It's just I like this, but it's just a lot for me. It doesn't look like a skin finish, if you will, because it has that heavier coverage, which is not my favorite. So I do really love it though. Again, it's creamy, it looks nice on the face, and it doesn't dry out the skin, which is what I really like, but it also looks a little bit more lifelike and a little bit more glowy. So this is one that I think less oily skin people, this is one that I think oily skin people will like a little bit less than some of the other ones, just because it is a little bit more hydrating and skin, I don't want to say skin like, but like a little bit more juicy, if you will. I don't want to say anything bad like glowy, because it's not necessarily glowy, but it is it looks more hydrating than you'd think, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I don't know, but I do really like it. Again, great price point for someone who's looking. It is, again, like, it's kind of cheapier, whereas like you see it's splitting in there, but this is definitely like not my oldest foundation, so it's just a little jinky, so you're like kind of like All right, next is number 5, and this one kind of just like negates, is that the word, negates? It kind of throws away everything I just said. But I love this foundation so much, and if I had to pick, okay, I'm just gonna tell you, this is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. I know I just said all that crap about full coverage, and I don't like full coverage that much, and I don't like anything and I really like a glowy, hydrating finish. The thing with this one is that if you're gonna do, for me, this is the thing, if you're gonna be a full coverage, and you're gonna be a natural finish, so not necessarily glowy or dewy, but something a little bit more just natural, kind of set, normal face kind of coverage, if you're gonna do it, then do it perfect like this CC cream. And the reason why I love it so much is because it literally is a natural finish. It looks nice and skin-like, and although it is a lot of coverage, it kind of looks like a second skin, right? And like a perfected skin. And that's what I really love about it. It doesn't look too heavy, it doesn't look too cakey, it doesn't do any of that, and it doesn't I don't know, it doesn't look crazy or like you're like, oh my gosh, girl, like, could you cake on more face? Like, it doesn't look like that, and I think that's why I love it so much, because it ticks all the boxes when you want something fuller coverage and something natural finish. And so that's what I really love about this. The other ones tend to lean, again, a little bit more cakey, a little bit heavier looking on the face. This one doesn't, and that's why I love it so much. And I really hope they come out with a hydrating version, because again, I will be all over that. But this one is really good as well, something I could see myself using up. You can see I've been using it because I really, really do like it, and something I do like to reach for. And it's $14, which is a little bit more on the expensive side, especially considering I don't think any of these products break $15. So I think this is actually the most expensive, which is saying a lot for e.l.f. Which is nuts. So whatever, I think you are getting a good money's worth. I do love the packaging. I think it looks really, really pretty. I think obviously it's a huge step up from this jinky little thing. So I do really like it. I think it's well thought out. I think it was everything about this was perfect. And so I think the $14 is a little excessive just because it is drugstore and it is e.l.f. But I think it is a good price if we're talking just a foundation. It's an amazing price because it's an amazing product, basically. Okay, I lied again. So next is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I know some people don't really count Colourpop as drugstore, but we're going to count it today because I wanted to talk about them. So here it is here. I just lied. I said nothing broke $15. This is $16, which is a little bit crazy, but this foundation is literal perfection. It's a nice like medium coverage. I feel like you can sheer it out a little bit, but it is more typically medium. You can build it up a little bit. It's a good like kind of everything kind of foundation, which is really nice, but it looks so good on the face, girl. I don't want to say glowy. I feel like glowy sounds so bad and people are like glowy, but it's not like that. It's super hydrating and looks like fresh and alive, and it's literally pretty fresh, and it's a hydrating foundation. It literally does everything it claims, and that's what I really, really love about it. I think it looks very skin-like and very natural with still having a bit of coverage, and so I think this is the best of all the worlds if you're kind of someone with drier skin, because you don't have to be afraid that it'll dry out your skin. You don't have to like kind of worry about what powders you use and stuff like that. You can kind of just use it and it's going to be beautiful. And I know people, Andrea Montalano has oily skin, I believe, and she knows, she wears this all the time and she loves it. So I'm just saying. So this is an amazing product. I do really love it. I think it's worth the $16. I do, it's kind of a little bit of a, like, if we're talking, like, if we're comparing here, or actually let's compare these two. If we're comparing here, I would probably guess that this one was higher up price, just because by the way it looks, and even the way it looks on the face, it kind of has a more luxurious kind of feel, just because it's a little bit more matte, and that's kind of more correlated to sophisticated and stuff like that. And so I feel like just by this, I would say this is probably like $20, and this one I'd probably give a good 12. And so the fact that this is 16 and this is only 11 is a little stupid, but what can you do, right? What can you do? So I do really love this one though. I do love it though. All right, now we're getting to top 3 babies. I feel like these are all like, at some time they were all number 1, at some time they would all be number 2, number 3, you know what I mean? They kind of all go back and forth. First, I needed to mention the NYX Bare With Me Tinted Skin Veil because I do still have a little bit left in a different bottle. So I wanted to mention that because it technically is in my collection. I believe this is, wow, Marissa. I think this is $13. So again, more pricier of a foundation, but I think it's a really good price. This is a tinted skin veil, so it's going to be 0 coverage, which I love. I think it looks so beautiful. It literally is a skin veil because it goes on top of your face, really sheer, but like so transformative. It's crazy how you have both. Like it literally just adds a veil over your skin, and I love that. I think it looks so beautiful, so hydrated, so juicy, so skin like alive. And I think it, okay, maybe, well, no, I think it like really works. I think this is one that really just is a good example of how a foundation should melt into your skin and how it should really just work with the products underneath it and stuff like that. A lot of the other products are, not a lot of them, but like my bottom few products are little ones that, like I said, they sit on top of the skin a little bit more. And this is a perfect prime example of how a foundation should just melt into the skin. And like when it like, you know, you use your beauty blender, all of it should just work together and it should just literally look like perfection. And this is such an amazing foundation, 8-hour wear. Don't actually know if that's true, but again, it's like literally 0 coverage. So if you're someone who, personally, if you like the Tarte Maracuja Tinted Hydrator, they're not exact dupes, they're a little bit different, but same vibe where it's like literally 0 coverage. So there's that one. I do really love that one. All right, and then this one is also $14, so I kind of lied, but whatever. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I'm in love with this, and at some point it would have been my number 1, but right now I've just been obsessed. I love the way it looks on the face. Again, this is lighter coverage. It's nothing, I think you can probably build it up to be like a lighter medium coverage, but it's nothing full coverage or anything like that. It's not a lot of coverage, and that's not what it's meant to do. It's meant to just literally like enhance your skin as far as the look of it goes. It brings it back to life. It's hydrating. It feels so good on the face. Again, it looks skin-like. It works. This is a good one. Same like the skin veil. It works so well with your skin, but it's not 0 coverage, you know, which is what I really, really like about it. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just so lightweight and so airy, but it's nothing, but it's not no coverage, you know what I mean? And so I don't even know why I decided to blend it out on my hand, because I thought maybe that could show you a little bit, but you can see it's still covered up some stuff there, but it's nothing full coverage or anything like that, but it looks so hydrating on the face. Oh my gosh, this is one of, like, obviously it's one of my favorites. I'm obsessed, in love. 10 out of 10 would recommend for anyone who tries skin, absolutely. I don't know if oily skin people would love it, because I think because it's a little bit of a lighter coverage than the foundation. I don't know if a lighter skin will love it, just because it might break it apart a little bit easier because it's so like hydrating and lightweight and airy and stuff like that. Because it's that like thin consistency, it might be a little bit easier for the oils to break it down. So I don't know if anyone with oily skin will love it, but if you have oily skin and you love it, let me know down below for all the oily skin people who want to know. All right, and then lucky number 1, because you guys have guessed. Again, right now, all at some point, the NYX, the Colourpop have all been number 1. This one's just number 1 right now because she's new. This is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator Tinted Skin Veil with hyaluronic acid, squalane. It's oil-free. It's sheer to medium coverage. The oil-free Perfector delivers hydrating benefits in a buildable sheer to medium tint for a flawless, softly luminous complexion. Hyaluronic acid and plant-derived squalane helps promote healthy skin, supple, moisturized skin. I agree with a lot of these claims. I think it does leave a softly luminous complexion. I didn't even read that before, and I think that's a perfect way of describing it, because I don't think it's a soft matte, and I guess those to me don't match too well, a soft matte and a soft luminous. Like, I feel like you have to be one or the other, or else you're lying. Like, if you're soft matte, you're more matte than you are luminous. So although there should be no luminosity, but this shouldn't be extremely matte. Whereas if you're a soft luminous, or like a, what does it say? Softly luminous complexion, I think you should be obviously more luminous than matte. So there should just be a light luminosity to you and no matte, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but I think it's more true that it's softly luminous. I don't think it's matte really in any way. It does make your skin look healthy looking. It's a supple, moisturized skin. Those are so true because it looks so good on the face. But this is so crazy because you literally could wear sheer coverage. You literally could wear medium coverage, and you literally could build it up a little bit more than that. So it's not necessarily, sheer light coverage than medium coverage. That's what I was trying to say. When you add a little bit more to the lighter coverage, it just brings it to the next level, and it's so surprising how this one foundation can go to all three. None of my other foundations can do that, literally. They just can't. And I looked at my collection the other day, and I was like, I knew I was going to be doing my makeup for the 80s coffee house, like I was talking about earlier. I knew I was going to be doing my makeup for that, and in a rush. I knew I would only have like 30 minutes to do my hair and my makeup, and it took a lot of time, so I had to do my makeup quick. And I was like, what foundation do I want to use? And I just grabbed this one instantly. And the reason why I didn't grab my Colourpop was because I had used it a lot, and so I was like, okay, we can't use that one today. So it would have been that one probably, but because of that one, I know and love a little bit longer. But then the number 2 was this one, and when I wore it, I just was like, yes, this is a good one that I know I can rely on, and it's only $6. But some places it's $5, some places it's $6, depending on where you get it. It's perfect price. Everything about this is literal perfection. So for ranking, I just wanted to mention real quick, so before I close out the video, if we're ranking the 3 newest here, I think number 1 is definitely still obviously the Colourpop, the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. I think if you're someone dry skin, definitely try it. This would be the foundation that I go with first and foremost. If you have dry skin, if you're someone who likes something sheer to medium coverage, if you like any of those on any day, this is a good one because you can wear it any which way. If you're someone who likes a soft luminous, if you want something that's lifelike and it just looks good on the face even when you set it, this is a good one because it doesn't dry out, anything like that. This one, but it's not super extremely luminous and glowy and dewy that I think even oily skin people could really like this a lot. So that one I think is number 1. Again, number 2, e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. Obsessed. Really love this. Again, this is kind of the complete opposite of the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. It's full coverage. It is what I call it, natural finish, which I would agree with. It just looks like skin, but it's not no coverage, and it's not glowy or luminous or anything like that. It's just natural. That's the word I will use, is to say neutral. It's just natural. It just looks like skin, and it is so good, but it is a lot more coverage. And again, I think everyone could like this, even the driest of the dry and the oiliest of oils. I think you would all like this because it's the perfect natural finish foundation that's a lot of coverage. And then we have lucky number 3, again, the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I think if you're someone who has, both the e.l.f. and the Wet n Wild, I would just skip over this because it's kind of like just mixing the two, and then making it a little bit heavier, a little bit thicker, so it looks a little bit heavier on the face. And so I really just don't think, I think for me, I got suckered in by like the packaging, the luxness to it, and the way it just says True Skin, and you're like, oh, True Skin. So when you hear True Skin, for me, I think of something more sheer to medium coverage. I think of something super hydrating, super glowy, True Skin. You know, I feel like it's just like bringing out all the trueness in your skin, but this is like not exactly that. So I think maybe just read a little bit more up on it if you're someone who's thinking about it or whatever. But I think I would pass this one. If I could do a do-over, I would skip this one. So again, next month I want to get the Essence, what are you called? I have it in my cart right now at Ulta. The Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. I do want to try that one as well. I'm clearly a sucker for foundation. I probably might chuck though this e.l.f. BB cream because it looks a little bit nasty right now, and I'm not a fan of that. So maybe I'll save it for declutter. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, I probably should also get rid of the NYX Born glow because I just don't use it a lot, but I have to do some testing. If any of these are your favorites out of my collection, definitely let me know down below. If you have any tips and tricks to making like the bottom 3 work a little bit better, definitely let me know. I will tell you that I've tried both of these, the bottom 2, which is, the rest of them I think I really love, except for these 2 are like probably the only ones that I don't love. But I've tried these with a lot of primers, a lot of different like techniques, concealers, setting powders, everything. So I don't know what it is, like how to make it work, but I think like I'm just sold. They're not my favorite. So anything like that. But though, if you have any other tips and tricks that you think like, hey, you probably definitely haven't tried this one, definitely let me know. Like I said, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up.
I need a quote.
Okay, so the quote for today is very cliche, and I'm sure you've all heard it before, but it says, "It isn't where you came from, it's where you're going that counts." And it's so true. I don't know, never mind. But yeah, I gotta go because clearly I'm tongue-tied. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.